everyone, and welcome back to another super cool radio interview. I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have an awesome guest making a return to the podcast who I'm excited to chat with again. She's an incredible multi-instrumentalist and guitarist, originally from Canada. Please welcome Sierra Levesque.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Been about a year and a half since our last interview. That was when you released your debut single, and obviously you got some new music that you released on May 20th. So I'm excited to catch up and chat with you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Wow, time has been flying. I don't even know what day it is, what year it is. It feels like it's all meshed into one. So yeah, it's been a while. I mean, Get Off My Stage seems like a long time ago now. So I'm glad to be back and talking again.
Oh, for sure. I know we got quite a bit to catch up and chat with, but I'm kind of curious before we dive into the new music you've been working on and everything you've been up to lately. So I saw in like one of your shorts, about Alice Cooper, and I'm a huge fan of his music. So I'm curious for you, do you have a favorite Alice Cooper album?
Oh, goodness. I would say, man, that's a really hard question. I do love It to Death. That one's a good one. I mean, I really like a lot of his earlier stuff, actually. I would say, like, even, like, 70s, that vibe was kind of my favorite. There is so much good music across the years, but, yeah, early stuff is kind of my favorite. I really like those first few albums, for sure.
Fantastic album. Definitely one of his, I think, best. And for me, I always lean towards Killer, which is the same year as Love It to Death. And just the early, just the original band just had that great just vibe to it.
Yeah, I really love like the creepiness and also like the acoustic and electric vibes, like how there was a lot of range too. I would say that early stuff. But yeah, that video was fun. I made that one with my friend Ryder, and we were competing to see who was the biggest Alice Cooper fan. So maybe next time we'll have to add you. Maybe you might be in the running.
I might be, and you guys might have me beat though with everything. Like I've not won the Alice Cooper makeup, but maybe that'll change.
There we go.
So, but now I'm kind of curious. So, like, obviously, originally from Canada, you were living in LA for a while. So I'm kind of curious. So, like, how was the move and transition to LA?
Great. Yeah, I've always wanted to live there. It's still my dream to live there full time someday. But since I'm doing college right now, I was doing some internships out there. I was doing one in a music studio, and then I did one in a music marketing firm. So that was really cool. And just like having the ability to learn directly from where everything is happening was definitely always what I wanted to do. So yeah, I've just been going back and forth, doing as many shows as I can in both places, and it's been great. And yeah, one day it's my goal to hopefully live there full time. So yeah, I definitely love it. And at first it was hard to make friends, but then through music, through Instagram, I found people. So I'm happy about that as well, and looking forward to being back soon.
Oh, right on. Well, I'm glad, everything's, been going well for you in Los Angeles. But like, kind of curious, was there any like culture shock or anything like, moving from Canada to LA?
I mean, the main thing was the driving. I only ever learned how to drive here in my small town in Canada, so I definitely wasn't used to traffic or like crazy big highways or anything like that. So when I got down there, I had to drive. You kind of have to because they do have public transportation, but it would take a while to get places. So yeah, I got a rental car, and that was crazy the first few weeks driving on the 8-lane highways, and it takes about an hour and a half sometimes to go 10 kilometers. So stuff like that is very, very hard to get used to. And I spent a lot of time sitting in a car, but you know what? At least I know that I'm going like fun places and music related places. So that's okay. But that was probably the biggest. Other than that, it's pretty similar. It's not like there's too many, the language is the same, too many different things to learn. But yeah, I would say the traffic was the hardest thing to get used to.
I believe it. I don't live too far from Chicago, and like just traveling in a big city, yet like it takes forever, and you feel like you haven't gone that far, which is kind of I'm from a small town in Indiana, so like we don't have traffic jams here, like there's no rush hour or anything like that. So like going to Chicago, it's like just completely different. So I definitely I understand what you're saying with that because it is very different.
Yes, yeah, but that was it. Other than that, I really love it. So maybe one day I'll have to move a bit closer to where I'm going because I spent a lot of time in Hollywood for events and stuff, and it's a little hard to get there, especially after 4 p.m. So I had to learn that. But now I know more, and now I feel better about it. So yeah.
Right on, right on. So, kind of curious. One last question. We will be talking about your latest single, "New Generation," but kind of curious. So, what's been like your favorite like aspect or like element of living in Los Angeles?
Man, I would just say the possibilities of everything, like from food to events to people who you might meet. Everything is possible there. And, again, being from a small town, I always loved performing at every venue I could, but there aren't too many more that I haven't been to here. Whereas in LA, there's hundreds. So I just love the ability to say, hey, I'm going to play at a new venue tonight, or I'm going to go meet this person who I've been watching on Instagram forever. And I really love trying different food. And they have so many cool things there, from like revolving sushi bars where it's like traveling on a little conveyor belt. They have like really cool desserts, just things that I would never be able to experience here yet. So it's kind of just exciting to do that and, see what I can find. And I will always, this will always be home for me. So I do love coming back home and revisiting my old favorite foods and stuff here. But yeah, there's just so many more options out there, which is really crazy. So yeah, just the possibilities of, tomorrow I'm going to go to an event, the next day I'm performing, and the next day I'm meeting this person. It's kind of, you're never really bored there. So yeah, it's a fun thing to just be able to kind of go to different places, see things, and know that hopefully something will lead to something else in a good way.
Oh, for sure. And I hope everything goes well for you. Between Canada and Los Angeles, it definitely keeps you busy with everything. But now, as transitioning to your latest single, released on May 20th, which is "New Generation." So, for anyone who hasn't listened to it, hasn't checked it out, what can they expect?
Well, it's an upbeat, rock, anthemic, catchy song to sing along with. This is my best sing-along song for sure, and I wrote it about wanting to help lead the new generation of rock and roll. I wrote this one back a few years ago, and there was a few videos going around social media where Joan Jett was talking about when she first learned guitar, and her teacher told her that girls couldn't play rock and roll. That was a big inspiration. Also, the fact that a lot of people recently and in the past few years have just kept saying over and over, rock is dead. I was hearing that a lot. So I kind of wrote a song about that. And yeah, it's just saying, hey, we're the new generation. Rock and roll is here to stay. So hopefully people will like it. There's also a music video on YouTube that I made of a lot of live performance footage of the song. So yeah, please check it out for anyone who hasn't heard it. And all you have to do to sing along is say, hey, it's really fun. So hopefully you'll like it.
Oh, for sure. I definitely very much enjoyed. I like the kind of the message in it. I see like musicians like you as like, carrying the flag for rock and roll and like up and coming musicians. So it is really cool to see. And I think we got a great, next generation of rock and roll musicians.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the point. So just helping to help lead it and inspire, especially young kids. I did an elementary school tour last year, and this is a song that I played at 10 different schools, and they all loved singing along. So I kind of was really inspired by that as well, to see that, hey, it's still alive and people still like it. So yeah, it's just, I'm glad that it's finally released now.
The school tour, so I saw like some of the photos and videos on your Instagram about it. So like, how did that come about?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a plan for a while. I was hoping to do it sometime, and then it was pretty much like, okay, well, now or never. So I started reaching out to schools last year, just giving them my idea, pitching it. I didn't really have anything to go off of, so I was just telling them, hey, I'll come in your school, I'll play 3 or 4 songs, all family friendly, and I'll give away some merchandise and just kind of talk a little bit about my story to inspire kids. And 10 schools agreed to it. There weren't too many that said no, some of them for like scheduling issues, but pretty much all of the main schools in my surrounding towns agreed to it, and that was amazing. So yeah, I went to these schools, I played all original music, I never played a cover, and it was just a kind of a test to see what the younger kids thought of my music, especially since a lot of them haven't really been exposed to rock, especially where I live. Country and pop are much more popular. So it was just kind of to see what would happen, and it went over so well. I would bring t-shirts, bracelets, guitar picks, stickers, and every kid would get something. I would be throwing things into the crowd. It was awesome. And then getting them to sing along with me. And it also helped them to find me on Spotify, especially the older ones. Now, even on TikTok, when I go live, I still see so many kids commenting, hey, you came to my school. So it worked and it went better than I could have expected. So now that I know that works, I'd love to continue that throughout my career. And now I have something to show people as well in many different cities. I'd love to go to LA, even like maybe even an elementary school tour across North America. That would be really cool. That would be something I'd love to do. And I also teach music to kids on the side. So it kind of combined both performing and inspiring, which was really fun. So definitely hope to do it again in the future.
Well, right on. I'm glad it went really well for you, and yeah, definitely in the future look forward to seeing how that can grow and expand. Because as we kind of talk about with like the next generation of upcoming rock and rollers, well, there's also the generation after you as well who should be exposed to rock and roll as well.
Yes, yeah, I'm really glad that they liked it. And yeah, definitely surprising to see how well it went. So hopefully doing more in the future.
For sure, for sure. So, but I did want to come back to with new generation and kind of the latest music you've been working on. Like I interviewed you, as I said, a year and a half ago with your first single. So has like your writing and recording process evolved in the year and a half?
Yeah, I would say it has. I mean, right now I have almost 35 songs fully recorded and everything. I'm gonna be doing kind of like stages of music. So the first stage is my earlier stuff, like from, the past few songs I've done. And then I've currently started working on even more new music. So it's kind of gonna be like 3 different projects. But my debut album will be coming out early September, and that will be more of the stuff I've done in the past year and a half. And then the next few things will be for a future release. But yeah, it's all been great. I do all my recording at home. But yeah, the writing and recording has definitely gotten better with each song. I always learn something new. I always like writing about different topics, different vibes, like ballads, heavy songs, slow songs, piano based, acoustic based, electric based. So it really does change. But yeah, excited to show people kind of the different stages of music that I have. And yeah, starting out with the earlier stuff coming out in September and then more in the future.
Well, right on, right on. Well, definitely look forward to checking out your debut album when it is available. So, but kind of with that, so like obviously you write and record, all your music and you play all the instruments. Do you think it like helps streamline like your ideas, being able to play all the instruments?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's much easier that way just for many reasons. I love being able to craft every part. I love being able to just hear it all in my head and then produce it very easily without, having to explain things or go over it so many times. One day I'd love to work with a backing band, especially for a live situation. But for now, especially in the studio, it's just much easier to rely on only myself just to get it done. And I can hold myself accountable. I don't need to hold anyone else accountable for it. So yeah, just much easier to hear everything the way it is in my head and to just get it down. And, I'm not the best bass player in the world, I'm not the best drummer in the world, but I am able to do what I hear. So that's also a great part because I think if a more, technically skilled drummer came in and tried to add parts to my recording, it might be too much. My songs are very simple. I like keeping it all very similar. So I know that I can do that every time, and it just helps me to hear it as I do in my head.
Oh, for sure. And kind of like, well, with what I do, like being one man production with Super Cool Radio, like I think it's easier to critique yourself and know like where you're, either like missing something or where you want to focus in on. If it's just yourself, you can have that kind of inner dialogue where you don't have to like, go out to different people and go, hey, I want this change or this change.
Yes.
It's easier when you're just one person.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly why.
For sure, for sure. So, and also, I did with your debut album. Can you give any hints of like what people like can expect from the debut album?
Yeah, right now it's planning to be 13 tracks, so not a short album. I'm excited for that. 13, a cool rock and roll number. So I've been trying to plan it for a long time, but it does take a lot more work than just a single. Because up until now, I've done only singles, so it's going to be a lot more of lead up and promotion, especially once it's out. Because if you promote too much before it's out, people can't really do anything. They just have to wait for it. So once it's out, that'll be the big push of, listening and sharing. But yeah, I'm excited. Another little hint is the title of the album will most likely be a title of one of my current songs that are released. So I guess we'll see which one. But yeah, it's definitely the earlier stuff. It's kind of my first songs that I recorded and wrote. Just want to get them out to the world. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll be sharing more about that. And then hopefully once it's out, I'll speak to you again.
Oh, for sure, for sure. You're always welcome on the podcast. I always enjoy chatting with you, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the debut album and finding out what the title is. Obviously when in due time with everything when it is, obviously released and available.
Yes.
So now I did want to transition to the live performing side just for a little bit because obviously you perform in Canada, perform in Los Angeles. So I'm curious for you, what has been like the coolest or most unique venue you have performed at?
Man, there's been quite a few. I mean, my favorite venue ever to perform at is Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles, and that's so legendary. Everyone has been on that stage, from AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, The Doors, like just pretty much everyone. So at one point or another. So just having the chance to play there now 3 times on that stage has been amazing, and there's so much rock memorabilia in the area, in the room. That's been one of my favorites and most cool venues, because when you're on that stage, like everyone who was there before you. So that's one of my favorites, but I'll have to think if there are any others. I mean, there's just been a lot of really cool rock clubs. A lot of the rock clubs are kind of like dive bar vibes, like you're going down into a basement and you're not sure if you'll make it back out, but but it's always really cool, and those are the best places too when you're not really sure how it will go, because you're walking down these scary stairs, but then turns out to be the coolest place. So I do love those places as well, but Whiskey A Go Go has been still probably one of my favorites.
Oh, definitely. It's a legendary venue for a reason, with all the killer shows and just all the bands, who've performed there over, many decades.
Yeah.
That one's hard to beat. Just how legendary it is. But I do like kind of the more like obscure kind of, as you say, in the more like dive bar settings, because it just has just a different vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're some of the coolest and best shows I've been to. So it really does depend with everything.
Yeah, no, I definitely love them. So any venue is great, though. Anywhere I can perform, whether it's inside, outside. Oh my goodness, I've played pretty much everywhere, in garages, on trucks, in random backyards or corners. I've done it all. So any venue I can play, I appreciate. And looking forward to more coming up too.
Oh, for sure. And obviously with the school tour stuff, another avenue for, performing in front of people as well.
Yeah, that's very fun too. Yeah, anywhere I can get, I'll perform.
Oh, for sure. So now, as we're starting to close out this interview, so I'm curious, I got another, fun non-music question, because obviously I know you've performed with LA Guns, Bumblefoot is your producer with everything, but I'm curious for you, who is the most famous person you have met who is not a musician?
Oh, goodness, that's a good question. Who is not a musician? Wow. Oh my gosh, most people who I recognize in places are musicians. So that's the issue. For me, non-musicians, usually if it's an actor, I'll recognize them more, but let me think of who I've met. A lot of them have been musicians. One person who I saw but I didn't meet is Colleen Ballinger, the YouTuber. She's like Miranda Sings, like kind of like early 2010s vibes. I saw her. I didn't speak to her, but I saw her. That was a random one. And I was like, oh, there we go. There's someone. But actors, man. Amy Adams she's been in quite a few movies. I would say like Enchanted. She's been in quite a few. I met her actually in January. That was kind of random. This guy is a musician, but he's musician/actor. He's known for being an actor as well. Corey Feldman. I've met him a few times. So he does do music as well, but he does both. So there's that. Man, that's a good question. I'm trying to remember now, but like I said, most people who I recognize or go up to is music related. So maybe the most famous one out of that would be Amy Adams, who doesn't do music. So I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anyone, but I believe she's the main one now. Yeah, who is not music related. But there's been a lot of musicians in the past few months who have been amazing to meet too. So I'll keep trying to remember if I can think of anyone else who's not music related, but I think she would be the main one.
Oh, very nice, very nice. No, it is that is a challenging question, as I know, with your, music career, you meet many musicians. So that's why I'm always curious. Like, that's why I kind of throw that question in
Yes.
there.
Yeah, I
But
do go to a lot of like conventions as well, like horror conventions and Comic-Con like conventions, and I see a lot of actors there, but I don't always meet them. Like the last one I went to, I saw Cole Sprouse, and that was amazing because I loved him back in his Disney days. So I guess there was him as well, but I didn't technically meet him. So yeah, it's hard to remember, but I'll keep thinking of some.
right on, sounds good. So now, as we're closing out this interview, so obviously we're in July right now. So I'm kind of curious, how's the rest of 2025 looking like for you?
Pretty good, yeah. The main project now that I'm back home for a bit, I'm recording all the new songs that I recently wrote. I'm hoping to get at least 5 done, but I might get 10 done. So there might be 10 new songs coming out, but at least 5. And then I'm planning for my album, so that's going to be a lot leading up to September. And then later in the year, I have quite a few shows around the album release back in LA to promote it as well, so that'll be fun. Just trying to get as much as I can out there, and I'm hoping by the end of the year to be in conversations with some type of booking agent as well, because I've been booking everything myself up until now, and I'm thinking that the album and a few more shows will definitely help me build that catalog even more. So hopefully by the end of this year, that will be a thing as well. So a lot of plans, a lot of goals, but just trying to get to them as good as I can.
Well, right on. So you got some great goals for the rest of this year, obviously with, the music side and releasing the album, shows, all of that. It looks like you're gonna have a busy rest of the year as well. So I hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, definitely going to be exciting, but that's the best part. I'm just excited for people to hear the music and to finally have it out there. So looking forward to it, and just every day now I've just been recording more and more. So I like being back in that work mode.
All right, and definitely, for sure, definitely good to be excited, and it's good to stay busy as well with everything.
Yes. Yes.
But thank you so much for stopping by Super Cool Radio again. It's awesome to chat with you.
Anytime. Thank you so much. And yeah, hope to be back on soon. And maybe I'll send you an early listen of the album. I'm trying to get like as many album reviews as I can. So yeah, I'll be like making a list of everyone who I've had the pleasure of being on the show of, and probably sending you guys like an early listen so you can hear it and talk about it, whatever you want. So yeah, I'll definitely be in touch with you soon.
Oh, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. But I will leave some links for Sierra Levesque in the description of this podcast. Please check out and support her. As I said, latest single, New Generation, currently out right now. Make sure to give it a listen. But Sierra, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. And yeah, hope to speak to you again soon. Thank you.
Of course, for Sierra Levesque, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.
Woo!